Happy Monday. Happy Monday. God bless you. Blessings to each of you. Happy Monday. Hey, Miss Erin. Let me turn my little jazz set down. I'm trying to work and get some things done around here. How are you? Hey, Uptown girl. My sis. How are you? Girl, I love me some jazz. I love jazz. I love it. Hey, Phoebe. Blessings to you. Y'all, I got a whiny dog over here. You may hear him over here. He's in one of his zones. I don't know what's wrong with him, but I'm going to slap him to sleep if he don't stop it. He's keeping up racket. Good morning. God bless you. Or good afternoon. Yeah, in Texas, it's still morning. So, hey, just hey, y'all, as you come into the room. Hey. I just wanted to share something with you guys really quickly while I had a few moments, something that I read in context, and I hope it touches you guys almost as much as it touched me. I love you more. I love you more. Thank you so much for your encouragement. I really, 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 really mean it. I mean it, mean it, mean it. Y'all have been so kind to me. Y'all don't even understand what y'all do to me sometimes. Y'all kind of make me leak in the eyes, cry just a little bit. Good morning. Good morning to you as you come in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, afternoon, whatever you guys are doing. Erin, I pray everything is well with you. Class was amazing last night. He's been on point the past few nights. He has done quite a bit that has truly touched my soul in so many ways that he doesn't even know. And I can't even begin to explain the work, right? I can't even begin to explain the work that is going on in the inside of him. And it's like that same blaze that you just put up is like embers, and we're all catching a fire. Hey, Apostle. So we're all catching a blaze, and I tell you, I am loving it. I am really, 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 really enjoying this season. And I can't even begin to tell you, man, what obedience to God and obedience to God's word will do. Because when you do what he says, man, listen, limits are limitless. So there are no more boundaries. And it all comes with obedience. So to him, so many kudos. I thank God not only for him, for Apostle, and you know what? I'm going to keep calling him Apostle Benjamin, because I feel in my spirit that's where God is taking him, First Lady, Apostle Benjamin. That's where he's headed. But there is a work. There is a work that is going on in the body. There is a work that's going on in the kingdom. I do believe that there is a shift or a changing of guards. I do believe that God is raising up a whole new remnant. When they say remnant rise, I believe we are in that era where so many of us that have sat in the back, silent, now is the time. And Aaron, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it because he's doing it in me. He's doing it in me. So we are his chosen. We're the ones, we're the voices who are supposed to go forward. I think I shared this on my scope the other day. I said one of the things that touched me the most was hearing Bishop Jake say that the giants are being replaced with midgets. And I said, good Lord, have mercy. I don't want to be seen as a midget. Not in this day and time, because I truly believe that God has so much more for us to do. There is a lot more for us to do in the body. There is so much more for us to do. And we may not have all the big platforms and all the notoriety, but you've heard me say it before. I mean, Periscope is big enough. Facebook Live is big enough. As long as we are doing his work, as long as we are getting it done, then we have no reason to complain about where we are not. We just need to get out here, get it done, get it right, Right, a midget in the field. You know, I did a message call, called out to stand out, and it was all centered on David and how, you know, everybody, they looked past David because they looked at his stature, and David was truly a giant. He was a giant, but he was seen as a little bitty guy. So yes, you guys are going to the nations. We are touching people globally on this platform. I can't even begin to tell you how many people. Oh my God, evangelist! Since I did the thing on y'all scope, how many people have reached out to me for prayer. They have preached out to me asking, hey, do you want to come on? I'm having XYZ. I would love to have you. And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. He's opening up these doors, and God is doing some things that I could have never, ever imagined. And it's almost frightening. It is frightening because I'm like, okay, God, you said you were going to do a suddenly thing. I had no idea suddenly was going to be this quick. And he is truly moving full speed ahead. He's not waiting on us, to get ready. We should have been ready. We should have been ready. One of the things that I say all the time, is always good to have one in the chamber. So when he tells you to stand up and fire, you can just go. You know, you got the word. You hear him. You hear him. He wants to go in the backyard. He wants to go. I just brought him in, the city workers in the alleyway, and he wants to go back there so that he can keep up all this racket and bark, 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 bark. Sit down, boy. You hear him? You hear him? He's ready to go bite, and he's only like 2 feet tall. He's a Shih Tzu, and he's ready to go act a fool. Not right now. It's a Shih Tzu. He's a little bitty fellow, and I got a pit bull back there too. But you think he was the pit bull and she was the Shih Tzu because he talks all the most noise. He runs the house. He really does. But let me give you guys this really quick, because I'm on my break. Yesterday, after service, oh my God, we had an amazing service yesterday. And just think, I almost didn't go to church, but I am truly thankful unto God. I listened and I obeyed. I got up and I went because we had a long week. We had we had funerals. And then no sooner we can get out of one funeral, there was another death. And I'm like, good Lord, what are you doing? So mentally, I was a bit drained. Physically, a whole lot drained. But one of the things that our associate pastor talked about yesterday was holiness and right living, holiness and right standing. And some of the stuff that he touched on, oh my God, especially when he tipped over into marriage, and how a lot of us, when you get married, he said, they tend to let the whole God's foundation for marriage slip right out the door. And they forget that it is a holy covenant between man and woman and God. And he said, holiness goes far beyond what we have been taught. You got to look at everything from a holy perspective and a holy lens. So that truly touched me. But then when I was looking at that, God took me over into John chapter 15, and it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes. Listen, when I read that and I said, okay, God, I could go somewhere with this text, especially with the vine dresser, and the branches. We are going to get cut no matter what. Aaron, you could not have said it better. When I looked at that text, I said, okay, God, Jesus, when we think about the text and we just think about Jesus, period, we know that Jesus is the way, the truth, and we know him as as life itself. And with that, it gave me just so much revelation on us being connected to Jesus. But if there is a toxicity, we can't be connected to something that pure and we not get cut to prune everything out of us that is not right. So when you look at that text, like I said, there were so many different ways that I could have gone, but God said, listen, there are some things that I specifically have for the body, because now we are entering into this great revival. And now that we're in this revival, there are some things on the inside of a lot of you that need to be trimmed off. It's kind of like with hair. When your hair starts to grow out, if you wanted to have a great presentation, you have to cut the dead ends. So it is with flowers. And Lord knows I love my plants. I have a jungle. But I know when my plants begin to grow, if there's something that does not look right on the plant, if there's a frayed end, a dead end, I need to cut that part off so that the other part can live. And that's how it is. Hey, Toya, that's how it is with us in the spirit realm. When there are things on the inside of us that do not connect with the true vine, which is Christ, you have God, the vine dresser, here to cut it out of us, sever the ties from these things that keep us bound, the things that keep us from living a holy and right life, no matter what it is. Because if you go over into the Bible, especially over in Second Timothy, the word gives us a great illustration of the things that we need to have trimmed out of us. You know, if it's being unthankful, unholy, blasphemers, lying, fornication, adultery, homosexuality, no matter what your vice is, if whatever you're dibbling and dabbling in will cause you to have a toxic connection as you are connected to the vine, which is God, which is Christ, it gotta be pruned out. It has to be cut off in this season so that you can grow and go at the same time. That's where I was with this text. And that's where, God is like, say this to my people and help them understand that I got more for them. I got some things for them to do, but they cannot go to the next level with these weeds entangled in them. And these weeds are things that the world has entangled us in, things that we've allowed ourselves to get entangled in, things that we know we don't have no business dibbling in. If we say we're holy, we're going to be holy. You have to be holy, 100 holy. You can't be half holy, partial holy. You got to be all 100 holy. You gotta let go of some of this stuff. Not some of it, all of it. You gotta get rid of it so that you can go next level, because God has a whole lot more for you. There's more in store for you. He is doing more. And just think about it. When you're thinking about the vine itself, the vine is the blood supply. It's the piece that gives us life. That is Christ. We have life, being, fulfillment, everything in Christ. So if we want to live to full potential, we got to get rid of some of this mess. And that is where, when I started reading John chapter 15, that is where God started taking me in the text. And he said, you know what, daughter, let them know that there is some pruning that's about to go on. May hurt, because I know for a fact, if you're his, you're going to go through a period of isolation anyway. You're going to be cut off anyway. There are going to be some people that cannot go to the next level with you. Definitely some thoughts and ways that cannot go next level with you. But more importantly, it is all for your good. All of it is for your good. He's not doing it to punish you. He's not doing it to make you feel miserable. He's not doing it for none of that, but it's all for your good. All things work together for the good of those. All things work. He's cutting it off for a reason. The dead ends have to go. And right now is the season where he's saying, hey, I am about to start snipping and cutting some things off. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do, sis, because there are some things that I can tell you, you guys know I am super transparent. It is very necessary. It is very necessary. Y'all know I am super transparent. I don't mind telling you, hey, look, Minister Child got to fall back because there are some things that she needs to work on the inside of her. There is some thoughts that might not be godly thoughts. We still have human sides. There are sometimes when Minister Child might want to snap, crackle, and go on off on people, and God is saying, listen, I need you to exercise patience. So that snap and crackle side, I need you to rid yourself of that, because I am trying to present you holy and blameless before the Father. I can't get you there if every time I turn around, you got a fly mouth. Every time I turn around, you ready to clap back at somebody. No, I need you to put your little applause up and not be so quick to go off. I need you to learn how to tame your tongue. More importantly, that is it. Tame your tongue, Minister Child. Everything does not require your critique. Everything does not require for you to give voice to. Sometimes silence is better. Just be quiet sometimes. And I kind of sense that might be a problem for a lot of us. A lot. Just listen. Zip it. Zip the lip. Close your pie hole. Stop it. Stop it. And that is where he has a lot of us. And more importantly than that, learn. When he says rest, when God gave me hey, Miss Vashti, when he gave me a revelation of rest, he said a lot of times you can put your body in the bed and you can go to sleep and you have not rested. When you enter into his rest, entering into his rest means you bring your mind, your thoughts, just everything under the subjection of the blood of Christ, and you just chill. You get into a place where you can shut it all down, shut it all off, and just say, God, this is me and you. That's perfect peace. That's perfect rest. These are the prunings that he said, because you can't keep going day to day to day to day, weighed down with all of this guilt, shame, condemnation, sin, foolishness. And God is saying in this season, I'm trying to cut it off. I'm trying to cut it off because I got some next level stuff for you. I got some stuff for you. I'm trying to take you somewhere, boo. I got some stuff. But you can't get there if you holding on to junk. You got to let go of the junk. You got to be willing to let him do a spiritual surgery on you and trim all that mess, all that fat off you. One of the things that I love, I used to work for the airline industry, and one of the greatest revelations that I ever learned is that a plane cannot take off if it's not evenly balanced. How revelatory was that for me at a young age, knowing that hey Taisha, knowing that us in the spirit realm, we can't take off if we are unbalanced. If we are unbalanced and we have loads that are too heavy, if we are weighed down with foolishness, if we are weighed down with sin, if we are weighed down with things that we know we should not be trying to drag, we're going to crash land every time. Balanced load. I have I call it my fancy pants washing machine over here, and it's a digital. And what I love about it is when you put clothes in it, and before it even cycles the water in, what it will do is it weighs it out digitally, and then it will tell you if the load is unbalanced. If the load is unbalanced on this washer, it will unlock and you'll hear a whole bunch of racket, and it will tell you, come get some of this junk out of me so that I can perform at potential. This is what God is doing to us in this season. Let me get some of this junk out of you so that you can perform at potential, because I got some stuff that I'm trying to take you into in 2021. 2020 is already behind us. 2021 is ahead of us. As a matter of fact, it depends on which calendar you're looking at. We're already in 5781. We are already in 2021. Hey, how are you? So you have to already be there in your thinking. You have to already be there in your actions. Don't look at what's around you. Stop letting all of this stuff impact you. But walk this thing out knowing that if you are divinely connected to the vine, if you are divinely connected, spiritually connected to the vine, there are some things that the Father wants to prune out of you so that you can go next level. Let him cut you. Let him cut you so that there can be some heavenly growth. Let him cut you so that there can be some spiritual growth. Let him cut you so that you can flourish. I mean, just like I said, it's just like hair. If you do not cut the dead ends off your hair will look a raggedy mess. If you do not cut the dead ends off your spirit, you will look a raggedy mess. Let him cut you and let him deal with you in this season. So that's what I wanted to jump on here and share with you guys today during my lunch break. Very necessary, very necessary. I had another one that he told me about. I don't mind sharing it with you, but it was entitled SOS. Hey, Miss Tanya, it was entitled SOS. Hey, God is molding me. And SOS, I was reading about Hophni and Phineas and Eli the priest. And one of the things that God told me, he said, is in these days, especially these last few weeks leading up to this election, really this whole COVID season, and this was birthed out of things that I saw, surprisingly but not surprisingly, people from the church. Some of the things that I saw them saying, especially when Trump came out and said that he had COVID, some of the things that I saw them saying, it was downright embarrassing from the body. It was embarrassing. Now, we're going to disagree. We're going to disagree on a lot of things. But if who a person decides to vote for impacts the way that you love them, and it impacts your ability to walk out the text the way God said you should, then there's a problem. But where God took me in the text was to Eli and his sons. Because if you remember the text, Hophni and Phineas were doing everything in the church that they shouldn't. They were sleeping with women. They were stealing the offering. They were stealing the money. They were doing everything, saying, doing, living how they wanted to, but entitled. They were entitled. The PKs. And God said, what do you think is going on now? And when the fathers should be speaking up, they have gone SOS, silent on sin. They have gone silent on sin. And God said, that's where we are right now. And he says, I'm seeing it. I'm watching it. I am not pleased. Lord knows if I was bothered from this, and these are leaders in the church that I heard telling people, I don't think I can pray for Donald Trump. What do you mean? What do you mean? Saul was hell on wheels to David, but David still prayed for Saul. And you mean to tell me you can't pray for Trump? If you can't do nothing else but pray him out of office, you need to pray for him. Hey, Dexter. So, that's what bothered me so much. And God said, yes, because the leaders have gone into an SOS mode, silent on sin. And all the while, the bastard children of the church are running amok, saying and doing whatever they want to do. And they think that this is acceptable in the eyes of God. But God said, no, I'm not pleased. I'm not pleased at all. I'm not, and yes, they will be held accountable. Not only them, because if you know the story of Hophni, Phineas, and Eli, all of them, Hophni and Phineas died. And so did Eli. The report came back. And, he wanted to know from another prophet, another priest, hey, what's going on? And when it was told to him what was happening, what was going on, it was almost like, whoa, I should have said something then. Yeah, you should have addressed the issue a lot sooner. And that's where a lot of the body is falling right now. There are some issues that y'all should have put voice to a long time ago. Some things that we should have spoke up on that we did not speak up on. And God is saying, stop, because I'm gonna hold you accountable for not addressing it. I'm gonna hold you accountable for being silent on sin. SOS. That was another one that I actually had wanted to drop on you guys like a week or so ago. But then this one came up, and then of course, if you follow me on any of the social media platforms, I have been dealing with death in the family and things like that. And God is like, come on, I gave you voice. Get out here, get to talking. I need the people to know where I am. There's some pruning. I'm seeing some things that I'm not pleased with. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm seeing some stuff that I ain't pleased with. I'm saying, it reminded me when God began to speak to me on it. It reminded me so much of parents that can see their children misbehaving and they turn a blind eye. I grew up in the hood here in Dallas, and I can tell you the number of people, thank you sis, the number of parents, you know your son sell dope. You know your son out here in the game. You know he in it. You know he deep in the game. So you just saw him shoot somebody in the back. Oh well, it was just a flesh wound. They hopped in front of the bullet, silent on sin. You know your daughter out here turning tricks. You know she that's her uncle. You know doggone well that ain't no uncle. But you're silent on sin. But these same people, thank you, Miss Vashti, these same people can walk in the church and call out everybody else's house. They got a word for you. They got a word for your children. They got a word for your marriage. They got a word for everything, but they don't never ever want to address the sin in their own house. And that's how Eli was. Eli was functioning in position in the church. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And he can call out everybody else. He could call out everybody else, but Eli could not call out his own. And we're still seeing that today. We still see it today. Still see it today. We were just talking about this. I love drag racing. I love to go to the races. And there was a little girl out there. One of the guys mistakenly thought she was older than what she was because she was out there. We call them booty shorts down here in the South. She had on these little, coochie cutters, and she's walking around, and she no mask on, no nothing, and she was her demeanor and character would paint the portrait of a grown woman, until one of the grown men tried to talk to her, and then the mom spoke up and said, "Well, she's only 13." I guarantee you, first of all, if you go to the track, which I've been going to the track a long time. I love drag racing. To me, that is not a place. Hey, DJ, the track period is not a place for young children, because there's a lot that goes on out there. But it's the fact that you had your daughter out here, you had her half naked, and when guys approach her in an adult way, you get offended. You get offended because you have set Tamar in the Bible. Tamar disguised herself. She had her mask on. You have masked your 14, 13-year-old daughter to look like a grown woman. And then when grown men are attracted, you are upset. Silent on sin. Silent on sin. And maybe I'm just old school, so I don't, if you're offended, hey, it is what it is. But I really do not believe that eyelashes and makeup and all that has any place on a 13-year-old girl. Let her grow up. Let her grow into that in her own timing. But all of that has no place on a young girl. It really does not. It really does not. And that's just my spin on it. That's my take on it. Like I said, I could still be a little old school in my thought processes, but I really do believe that you let them grow, let them develop, but do not make them grown ahead of time. Do not. I have two daughters, and hey, favored by God, I would tell people in a heartbeat, I would much rather for my oldest daughter play with Barbie dolls until she was 16. Let her play with Barbie before she picks up Bobby. I would much rather her play with Barbie until she's 30 before she start playing with Bobby, because when Bobby come along, it's going to be some problems. So just like yesterday, you have these parents out here, you have them with their children. They're out here in this environment. It is Vashti. It is. And it's that Hophni and Phineas mentality where the parents see them doing wrong. You see them. But you go silent on sin, SOS. You do not address facts. You do not correct the children. You would much rather be their friends instead of being their parent. My kids know to this day, if I put them on this set, they will let you know. Time out in my house was the amount of time they spent passed out after I knocked them out. I ain't playing no games in my house. I did not, and I still don't. There is a level of respect as a parent that I am going to demand. Aaron, it was real around here. I would knock them completely out and then stand over them and count them back in. I'm going to count them back in. We didn't do timeout. We didn't do no corners. The only person in the corner around here was me, because I was ready to spar with them. Look, y'all give me some water, some Gatorade, because I'm going in on the next level. Soon as they wake up, I'm going to punch them completely out again. I didn't play no games with my kids. And I let them know, I'm not here to play with you, and you will not play with me. Now, we're going to have some respect. So look, that's exactly who I am talking about, favored by God. Hophni and Phinehas. Because, the word that God gave me is the church has gone in an SOS mode, silent on sin. Just like Eli, he's seen his kids doing wrong, but he wouldn't say a word. And that's where a lot of us are, especially in this age. I'm baffled, especially here in Dallas. I watch the news every now and then and see kids that are dictating to the parents. They ready to go back to school. You go back when I say you go back. This ain't up for discussion. Me and my kids, we didn't have debates. We didn't. No. We don't have these type of discussions. You're doing it because I said. That was the final word. Because I said, then if you have a problem with it, you go ahead and we'll write your eulogy right now. We'll go ahead and write your eulogy. I am ordained and I will officiate the service. That's what we're going to do. I don't play games. So just imagine my face yesterday seeing this, and then the mom is mad, fighting mad, because a grown man addressed her daughter. Well, if your daughter wasn't out here at 13 looking like she was 22, he probably would not have said anything. And the guy was so apologetic. He said, my God, I got a granddaughter. Now that's how old this 13-year-old looked. I got a granddaughter? And she was grown looking. She was real grown looking. But it is the fact that you don't correct your children. You don't say anything. You're comfortable with this. You're comfortable with her out here looking like, what is it, Corduroy B or whatever the girl name is. Y'all, I don't keep up with today's, the Corduroy B, them. They try to tell me, my girls try to tell me, I don't know these people. All I remember is old school people, Queen Latifah and all them. I don't know these new people. But the point is, you don't have them out here looking like that. You don't let your sons go out here doing these things, and you know they do it. And then instead of you addressing them, you take your anger out on other people in the church. I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen. They always got a word for everybody else's house. They always got a word for everybody else's kid. But they never address the sins in their own house. Eli never addressed Hophni and Phinehas, but had the nerve to get up and address the church. You go address the congregation, but you can't even address the two front row attendees in your own house. Should never be that way. Should never be that way. And unfortunately, that's where we are. That's where we are. And I have seen a lot of it, especially with this upcoming election. I've seen some things coming out of the mouth of believers. Yes, we got to get our house in order. I've seen some things coming out of the lips of ministers and elders. And I'm like, wow, wow. All behind an election. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all, because this too shall pass. One or the other will go in the White House. You see what I'm saying? One or the other. It's either going to be Biden or it's going to be Trump. And regardless of who goes in there, it's your reaction that God is looking at. It's your reaction. Some of the things that I have seen typed out, it really and truly, and I've said it for the longest, 2020 is truly the year that God is unveiling. He is uncovering the hearts and thoughts and minds of people. 2020 is the year of double exposure. And when he said he was starting with the church first, I never imagined in this time that I would see it. I'm seeing it. And I'm not pleased. It's some of them I have said some things to, because like I told you, Char got a pistol for a mouth, so Char will say some stuff. I really don't care too much if you get mad. I don't care if you get upset. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you truth and love, that you are wrong, and that's the part that a lot of them do not like, because most of them said that they thought that I would side with them. No, I don't err on the side of ignorance. I don't. And I'm gonna do what God tells me to do. I disagree with I disagree with a lot that he's doing in the White House, but that does not hinder my ability to pray for him, because that's what the Bible tells me to do. The Bible tells me to do it. How dare I be that salty that I forfeit my promise over somebody else? I'm not that stupid. I'm not that stupid. And these are the silent things that God said that the church has waxed cold on. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody wants to address these things. Nobody is talking about the character and conduct of, yes, it does move mountains. Nobody's talking about the character and conduct of the church leaders right now. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody. I like I said, I've seen some stuff on my timelines, and I'm like, wow, church leaders, this what we doing? This is what we're doing. I've seen more of them talking about getting turned up. They are more hype over WAP. They've been more hype over these facial expressions of Kamala Harris. They've been more hype over world news. They've spread more gossip in world news than they have Bible news. They have completely forsaken the post. They have left the post up for the wolves. They have. They're doing everything. And to my surprise, most of them asked me, am I going to remain in my post? Yeah. This is what I was called to do. This is what I was elected and chosen to do. It wasn't a game for me. I mean, with or without a title, with or without the schooling, I wouldn't change a bit of it, because I learned so much in theological school and all of that. But this is what I was called to do. My heart was in it. My heart was in it. The sports is the worst. The sports is the worst. So that's the reason why, when God said, I'm taking full account. I am taking full account. I'm paying attention, and they will be responsible. They are going to be held responsible and accountable for their reactions. Trust me. So when he gave me SOS, what was SOS on top of John 15 back to back? Thank you, Pastor DJ. When he gave me that, it was more or less like, okay, guy, you ain't playing no games. I see you ain't joking around in this season. You speaking loud and clear. It's kind of like, what was that song, Lil Wayne? I ain't talking fast. Y'all just listening slow. You ain't heard nothing God said, because you was listening real slow. He is speaking right now in 2020 to the body with clarity. And that's the reason why a lot of us, we can hear on levels that nobody else can hear. It's because we're forsaking all foolishness, and we're God focused. It's not that I'm not in tune with what's going on around me, because I understand the election will impact me. I understand Breonna Taylor impacts me. I understand, George Floyd, it impacts me. I understand the event that just happened here in Texas, where the cop walked up and shot the guy up in Greenville. Not in Greenville, but in Wolf City, Texas. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. That impacts me. That impacts me. If you see the video, it's impactful. But I do not let that move my position in the kingdom, because I know what God has called me to do. I'm not going to let that cause me to hate and dislike nobody because of race, creed, color. I know what God called me to do. I know that God said in the Bible, lawlessness, times will come. But what does it look like when lawlessness has crept into the church and the church is now looking more like the world instead of the church? The church is supposed to be a place where we can run into and be edified. And to me now, it's more like we are getting vilified. We're getting full of mess out of the church. We're getting infected. And it just ties back into that vine. It ties right back into John chapter 15. If you are truly his, you're going to let him sever and cut this mess out of you so that you can go next level. You can't bring that stinking thinking up to the kingdom. You cannot. He ain't going to have it. God ain't having none of it. He ain't having not one bit of it. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got to let him sever the ties. You got to let him cut it out. You got to understand that by him being the true vine, there is a sanctification process that goes with that. It's not saying that you have to be ignorant and blind to what's going on around you, but it does say, hey, listen, there is a demarcation line right here. There's only so much that you can dibble and dabble in. You got to let me take over and do the rest. We have voice, we have platforms, we have positions, but we do not let what's going on out there impact what's going on in here, because we're the ones that God is looking at. He's holding us accountable. He's holding us accountable. So that's what I wanted to come on here and share with you guys today. That's what I want to come on here and talk to you guys about, because I'm telling you, it has been burning in me. I was going to tell it yesterday, but I was trying to hurry up and get into the church. I was trying to hear him get in the church house real quick. But it's been a mess. It has been a mess. But God is saying, hey, listen. I am in the pruning process. I am taking full account. I'm looking. Oh, I'm watching y'all. All of y'all that say, y'all, oh, I'm the prophetess, I'm the minister, I'm the pastor, I'm the this, I'm the first archbishop, rolling bishop. You got more titles. I'm the minister of music, minister of the parking lot, minister of the first pew, minister over lights. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Thank you. He said, I'm watching you. I am watching y'all. I'm looking. And I ain't pleased with what I'm seeing with a lot of y'all. Y'all doing a whole lot of faking and shaking. Faking the funk. Y'all look real good. Y'all look real hard. Y'all was looking real good. You know, long as them church doors was open and y'all could run in there and run down to that front row and put y'all, you put your shundo on and all that. That coulda woulda bought a Honda and all that mess y'all coming here with. But your shundo gonna get you kicked out the door. Y'all better quit playing. Y'all better quit playing, because now when I tell you we are entering into it, we're in revival. I can't say we're entering in. We are in revival, and God is cutting off a lot of stuff as we move to next level. He's doing some things. Child, I need you to bring that attitude together. Aaron, I need you to get that mouth together. Toya, I need you to get that. Baby, you can't be clapping back, Toya. Bash Ty, I need you to pull it on down, Bash Ty. How dare you go off on another person? Dag Still, listen, let me find out you over there cussing. He's getting us all. He's getting us all in check. Because we are in this revival season. And he's saying, hey, Taisha, he's saying that you can't go. You can't go with that mess. If you are connected to me, you're going to let me prune that foolishness off of you. You're going to let me trim the fat so that you can grow. You're going to let me cut that cussing out of you. You're going to let me cut that attitude out of you. You're going to let me cut that hoeing out of you. You're going to let me cut that lying out of you. You're going to let me cut the fornication out of you. You're going to let me cut the adultery out of you. You're going to let me cut all of it out. You're going to let me go on and I got some good sharp scissors. I'm going to cut it out. You're going to let me cut it out. All unholiness, unrighteousness, you're going to let me cut it out. I don't give a care what, like I said in the beginning, what your vice is. Because all sin stinks in the nostrils of God. So it ain't, that we have a habit of saying it's the homosexual. Okay, Taisha, if y'all see Taisha sing, Taisha, tell them how to do it. Tell them how to do it. If baby God ain't playing no games, he ain't playing no games. You gotta die to yourself. You gotta cut that mess out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Stop it. Stop it. Because he is requiring a whole lot more from us in this season. Can't say, they said in order to, if you knew better, you do better. Well, you can't say you didn't know because Child done been on here to tell you. You can't say you didn't know, now you know. Don't be lying on me. Don't say Child didn't come on here. Child didn't come on there and tell me nothing. She did. Don't lie. Don't lie on Child. Don't lie on Child, because I just told y'all Child working, Child trying to get that mouth together because Child will go off. Child got some snap, crackle, and go off. Like God trying to say, hold on, quick drama, bro. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get that mouth. I'm trying to get that mouth right before you go off on somebody. Listen, don't lie on Child. Don't you be lying on her. Child still got some things she trying to work on. Listen, let me find out you telling some lies. Lies and flies I despise. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. I'm gonna hand you your coat. And with your coat, there's going to be some real fly words. And then I'm going to have to go in there and get in my prayer room and tell Jesus how I meant it, but I really didn't mean it. If y'all can go in the prayer room with me when I have to go in there and repent for some of the stuff that I've done. You know what, God, I meant it, but I really didn't mean it. I mean, God, you heard what they said. I swear, it's like at the end, he win, but it's them conversations. God, listen, did you hear what they said? But then he's like, did you hear what I told you not to do? I'm going to reason with him. God, did you hear them? Did you see how they was trying to handle me? God, I had to handle them before they handled me. God, you told me a rock and a rag. He said, yeah, a rock and a rag, not your sharp tongue. That tongue of yours is a rock, rag, and a AR-15. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, because I'll go out. I'll go off. I swear I will. I swear. But God said, no, child, I'm going to get you. I'm going to make you stop that. And I'm going to keep putting you in timeout. And I'm going to keep cutting you. And I'm going to keep pruning you until you cut it out. And if that means I have to delay blessings until you get it right, then I'm going to keep. What do you want? You want to do you? Or you going to do kingdom? Because you can't do both at the same time. You can't do me and do kingdom. You can't do foolishness. I was like, oh, okay, guys. So all right, let me go back to the drawing board. So what you're saying is, so y'all have to be in on some of these conversations because I really try to reason with him. So God, what you saying is, right, my mouth, because just for, like I said, some of the mess that I have seen going on, it's just like. And I got your phone number. Oh, I got your phone number. Girl. I want to call you and go off because you foul right now. You real foul. That last post was out of order. But then that's when I have to, okay, God, teach me how to say it the right way, because presentation is everything. Presentation, it could be the right word, wrong delivery. Could be wrong timing. But my thing is, God, teach me. Thank you. I did it myself. But God, teach me how to say it. Teach me how to say it so that I don't come across harsh with nobody. I'm still a work in progress. Still a work in progress. I don't profess to be perfect. I don't profess to live perfect. I'm far from perfect. I am being perfected every day. I'm with love and kindness, baby. I am trying to do it every day, the right way. I'm trying, but that's not to say I don't have a couple of hiccups along the way, because, and people know when Minister Cha get that, it's that one look. I don't know. My daughter said it's them lines. She said, when you get them lines right here, that's when I know you about to fly off. And they say they always try to deflect. We know when you're about to go off, because they always say that you have you have this look. You have this look. And I was like, okay, I need to change the look because I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody to be able to pick up when I'm about to go there. But they know me. They know me now. They know me now. But that's that part of my branch that God is pruning. That's that part of me that he's pruning, because he says, I can't have you out here acting no fool and you saying you the minister. Girl, you can't be doing that. You can't, girl, look, straighten that wig up and bring yourself out here and quit acting ignorant out here in these streets. That's how God be talking to me. He'll call me on mine. So I hope he calling you on yours too. Because he'll get me real fast. He'll get me told real quick. So, nah, I ain't her. I ain't her. I don't even want to be her. So that's what I wanted to come share with you guys today. If you get a chance, y'all go back, read John chapter 15. But more importantly, read Hophni and Phineas. Read Eli. Read Eli, man. It's a powerful story. But it also paints one, if you kind of revelatory like I am, and you can see beyond the text, you will see this is exactly where we are today. We got one side that is SOS, silent on sin. And then we have another side where God is saying, I'm about to prune all of this ignorance out of you because I'm trying to take you somewhere and you can't go with me with that toxic behavior. You can't go with me with that toxic mindset. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I am, what time is it? Okay, I'm still doing good. I'm on my lunch break. I'm on my lunch break working from home. So I am about to have me a glass of tea, sit out back, let my puppy outside. Let my puppy outside. I don't know if y'all done heard him. I don't even know if y'all can see him here. Look. He was whining at the beginning of this, and then he crawled up on the arm of the thing and just went to sleep right up under me. He's a mess. He's a mess in a hole. But he's also, this my front row. This my amen partner over here. You know, when I be in the house talking to myself, you know, and I need an amen, he might bark, might growl. I don't know. He'll come up, lick my ankle, do something. Just let me know, hey, sister, you preaching right now. That's my dog. That's my dog. So I'm about to let him out back. But listen, I pray the very best over you guys. Blessings to you as well. I pray the God's very best over you guys. Don't know if I'll be back on this week. If it be his will, I will be. I will come as he tells me to come. Aaron, that is part of that. What he is. I have a pit bull too. I have a pit bull. She's ignorant. She ignorant. She needs some pruning too. She needed to hear this word. She's ignorant. Something wrong with her. Something wrong with her. I promise you something wrong with her. But she needed to hear this word too. But Aaron, this here had to be part of what Apostle Daryl was coming at. I swear he knows me so well. He knows me so well. She's out back. She's out back. I'm headed back there with her in just a second. This little one, he lives up under me, but I'm going out back with her. So you guys be blessed. Do you hear me? I'm praying for you. If you need prayer, all my junk's in the bio. Reach out to me. I will respond. I ain't good as like right away. Like if you want some right now. I'm like, Minister Child didn't text me back. I will. I love you more. I will eventually, but for now, me and him just go outside, let him do his walk thing, and that's what we gonna do. Have us some tea and finish listening to our Walter Beasley, because I love me some jazz. Y'all have a blessed day. I love you too, Miss Vashti. So I'll catch you guys next round whenever he gives me some more of this to impart with you guys. So until then, pray, stay prayerful. Let God prune you. Let God take all of this stuff out of you. Blessings to you, Miss Phoebe. Let him take all of this out of you and know that the cutting is for your good. He's doing it all for a reason. So I will catch you guys the next time, okay? Bye-bye.